All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Kol Haloyam Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakal Kwadash. All right. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall and the destruction of America. All right. In the Bible, America is known as Babylon the Great, or the great daughter of Babylon, or Mystery Babylon. And according to biblical prophecy, the great daughter of Babylon is going to be destroyed and wiped off the face of this earth by nuclear fire, by thermonuclear destruction in this third world war that's getting ready to pop off, man. All right, nuclear missiles are getting ready to fly very, very soon, man. All right, and we've been prophesying this, all right? Week in and week out, we've been telling you that nuclear missiles are going to pelt this place in this third world war, man. All right, because World War III is written all throughout the Bible. And America's destruction is written all throughout the Bible, man. And we've been prophesying this for years and years to come. And now you finally seeing these prophecies, all right? They're finally speaking for themselves, man. All right? The prophecies are speaking for themselves alone, man. We barely got to speak anymore, man. All right? Like the scriptures tell you in Habakkuk, the second chapter, man. At the end it shall speak, and the end is manifest. We're at the end, man. All right? And now it's very evident who the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are, man. All right, and it's not your Christian pastors, all right, that you go to see on Sunday service, man. All right, they're not teaching you about America's destruction. They're not teaching you about World War III. They're not telling you who the true Israelites are. They're not prophesying of the mark of the beast. They're not telling you about the RFID microchip. All right, they're not telling you about the time of Jacob's trouble. They're not telling you about none of these prophecies, man. And the Lord said to be occupied in prophecy. The Lord said to speak prophecy in the ears of my people. And that's exactly what we do as prophets, man. All right. We prophesy, man. All right. And if you don't live under a rock, it is very evident, all right, who the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are, man. As these prophecies are jumping out the Bible like crazy, man. All right. You see all the nations coming together, all right, over there in the Middle East preparing for World War III, man. All right. But anyway, what I want to get into is Isaiah the 14th chapter, man. Okay? Because the last time I was out here, I did Isaiah 13, man, which talks about the destruction of America. And now I want to get into the next chapter, Isaiah 14, which talks about the downfall of Esau, Edom, and also the destruction of America, man. All right, because what I think I'm gonna do is, like I said, last week I did Isaiah 13. This right now I'm about to do Isaiah 14, and I'm gonna just keep going into all the chapters that talk about the destruction of Babylon, which is America, man. All right, because it's written all throughout the scriptures. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get Isaiah 14, man. All right, Isaiah 14. Let's start off with it, man. All right, which when Isaiah 14 starts, goes into the kingdom of heaven when we make Esau, Edom, and these other nations our slaves and our captives, man. So let's get into it. Isaiah 14. All right, let's get it. All right, Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob. Yeah, Jacob represents the nation of Israel. All right, which is you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans. Everyone on this sign right here. All right, that's who Jacob is. all right, because Jacob's name got changed to Israel, all right, after he fought an angel, man. All right, so everyone that descends from Jacob, whose name was later changed to Israel, all right, everyone who descends from Israel is an Israelite, all right, because Jacob had 12 sons, right, and each son became a tribe, all right, and if you descend from one of those 12 tribes, you are an Israelite, all right, because the word "ite," the suffix "ite," I-T-E at the end of the word, all right, means son of. So if you are a Israelite, that means you're a son of Israel. You descend from a man named Israel, man. All right, you descend from one of his 12 sons. You cannot be an Israelite unless you descend from one of the 12 sons of Jacob, man. All right, that's what makes you an Israelite, you understand? All right. So Isaiah 14:1, it says, "For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel." Yeah, that's who the Lord chose. He chose the nation of Israel. That's his chosen people. All right. What does it mean to be the Most High's chosen people, man? Do you understand what that means? All right. Why does Yahweh, all right, have a chosen people? What's the whole point of having a chosen people? What does that mean? All right. The nation of Israel being the Most High's chosen people means that's who he chose to save and give salvation to and the kingdom of heaven to. He didn't choose no other nation. No other nation is Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's chosen people, man. Only one nation, all right, which is the nation of Israel. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right. We are the Most High's chosen people. We are the true Israelites, man. You understand? So when you read Isaiah 14:1, all right, it says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel." Yeah, he will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, man. The Lord's not going to have mercy on any other nation. All right? No other nation is going to give is going to be given the kingdom of heaven. All right? The kingdom of heaven is rulership of this planet Earth. There's only going to be one nation that's going to rule when Yahweh Shai comes back and splits that sky in half, man. He's only going to set up one people to rule this planet Earth, and all the other nations are going to be subjects and captives and slaves under that one nation, man, which is the nation of Israel, man. All right, what do you think the disciples meant when they spoke to Yahweh Shai in Acts the 1st chapter? All right, when they asked them, "Are you now going to restore the kingdom to Israel?" The kingdom meaning rulership, which is the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven, all right, the kingdom is going to be restored to Israel. All right, when Yahweh Shai comes back, it's not going to be restored to any other nation. All right, they said, "Are you now going to restore the kingdom to Israel?" Meaning, are you now going to give rulership unto Israel, man? And when Yahweh Shai gives rulership unto Israel, all right, the kingdom of heaven, which is you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right, it's going to be forever and forever and forever, and we're never going to come down from that rulership, all right, because kingdoms come and go. But when the Lord sets up us this time, we're never going to come down. That's the kingdom of heaven, and we're going to live forever. We're going to rule forever. We're going to be kings and gods on this planet Earth, man. All right? And that's written all throughout the scriptures, man. All right? Matter of fact, let's get Revelation. All right? Let's get Revelation, 2nd chapter. All right? I start at verse 25, all right? Revelation 2:25, and these are the words of Yahweh Shai. These are the words of the Messiah, okay? This is what Yahweh Shai said. This is what the Messiah said, all right? This is Revelation 2:5, all right? It says, "But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come." Yeah, this is true, all right? You're supposed to hold fast to it, meaning you're supposed to hold it tightly. Never let it go, man, all right? Endure unto the end, man. All right, the Lord said, "Those who endure unto the end, the same shall be saved," man. When you come into this truth, you can't retire, man. You can't stop. You gotta prophesy. You gotta do the work until you die, man. There's no retiring in this thing, all right? Because the ones that die in Yahweh Shai, all right, the scriptures say the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first. Those are going to be the first ones to be lifted up into the chariots. All right, when the nuclear fire comes, when the thermonuclear destruction comes. All right. So let's read Revelation 2:25. It says, but that which ye have already hold fast until I come, man. Yeah, hold fast till Yahweh Shai come. The Lord said, occupy until I come, meaning do this work until I come. All right, always be in the scriptures, man. All right, always doing this work. Because the Lord said, let's get that in Revelation 3:10. All right, Revelation 3:10. These are also the words of Yahweh Shai. All right, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Yeah, keeping the word of the Lord's patience. All right, is to do this work. All right, and because you have done this work, the Lord is going to protect you from the hour of temptation. Which the hour of temptation is when the mark of the beast comes. That's the hour of temptation. All right, that's what it all boils down to. All right, the mark of the beast, man. All right, which is the RFID microchip. All right, the RFID microchip is indeed the mark of the beast. All right, with great surety and with great certainty, I tell you this, man. All right, the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. All right, you will have these false prophets, man, tell you that the mark of the beast is not the RFID microchip. They will tell you that the mark of the beast is a spiritual thing and not a physical thing. No, the mark of the beast is an actual physical thing, man. A tangible thing that the elites want to implant under your skin. All right, that's what the mark of the beast is, man. That's how they're going to have complete control, man. All right, you understand? All right, so going back to Revelation 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Yeah, so when you do this work, when you're diligent, all right, the scriptures say to give diligence, to make thy calling and election sure, right? Because those that are called, all right, are not always of the elect. All right, that's the scary thing. All right, the scriptures say many are called, but few are chosen. Some are called into this truth just so they could fall out and be made an example of. All right, because if you fall out this truth, all right, you're gonna be destroyed. You was really a 2/3 this whole time, man. All right, it's just the Lord brings people into this truth, all right, so they could fall out and be destroyed, man. The Lord sets you up that way, man. That's why you got to endure unto the end. Those who endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. You understand? All right. So it says, I was going to get a scripture, but it kind of slipped my mind. All right. But anyway, let's just keep reading. All right. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Yeah, all right. So the mark of the beast, all right. The elites are gonna they want all this earth, all right, to be under their control. All right. The hour of temptation is when the mark of the beast is ushered out. The RFID microchip is going to come upon all the world to try them. All right, because the Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, you understand? So all the elect of the Israelites, even the 2/3, all right, but they're going to be tried just so they could be destroyed, and the elect is going to be tried so they could be saved, man. You know? You understand? All right, so that's what the elect is going to be tried crazy, man. The Lord said, be faithful unto death, all right, and I shall give thee a crown of life, all right, because the elect are going to die. All right, they're going to be martyrs. They're going to be beheaded, all right, instead of taking the mark of the beast, man. Excuse me, all right. The prophet John, Apostle John, all right, he's seen the vision of the elect, the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord being beheaded for the ones that did not take the mark of the beast, all right. So you got to be ready, brethren, all right. Give diligence to make thy calling and election sure, man. All right, even myself, man, I even gotta, you know, be more diligent, man. We all gotta have that mindset, like, yo, I'm not doing enough. All right, even if you think you are doing enough, you know, you still gotta have that, yo, you gotta do more, man. You know, You know, days you might not do videos, you'll be reading. All right, that's part of being diligent, reading and studying, because you can't teach unless you receive this knowledge, man. All right, what did the Lord tell Ezekiel? I think it was Ezekiel. He said, eat the roll and then go teach the children of Israel. All right, eat this roll, meaning receive this word, learn this truth, and then go teach, man. All right, because the scriptures also say that we study not only for ourselves, but all those that want to learn. All right, that want to receive this truth, those that are looking for the truth, man. All right, so let me read this again, Revelation 3. See, I was supposed to go into Isaiah 14, but the Spirit had me going somewhere else, man. All right, that's how the Spirit works. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has you going where he wants you to go, man. All right, you understand? But we're going to get into Isaiah 14, all right? Lord whip, all right? Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, meaning to be diligent and to do this work, man, to teach, to come out here to the highways and the hedges, do videos during the week. You understand? All right? So it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord got us. As long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, all right, the Lord got us, man. All right. It says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right. So this is going to come upon all the earth. All right. The MOTB, man, the hour of temptation. All right. When you go to Revelation 13, when you get the actual prophecy of the mark of the beast, the prophecy says that he causes all, everyone on this earth, all, both small and great, rich and poor. All right, matter of fact, let's get it. All right, let's get Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he causes all, he is talking about Esau, Edom, you know, the beast, all right, which is controlled by Esau, Edom, which is Esau, Edom, because the beast is the NATO and the European Union, all right, the Edomite nations, man. All right, and then the woman that sits upon the beast is America, man. Also an empire of Esau Edom. That's Esau Edom's top empire, man. All right. So it says, and he causes all the. He again is talking about Esau, man. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families. All right, because they have an agenda to bring forth the new world order. All right, and part of that new world order is to enslave this planet Earth through their technology. That's the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. You understand? All right. So it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So it says he causes all, everyone on this earth, man, all right, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, which is the RFID microchip. And you're not going to be able to buy or sell anything without that mark, man. Okay? That's an actual physical mark, because when you go into the Greek, all right, the word there for mark is karagwa, which means an incision or to cut, all right, to insert something, all right. So we know something that is going to be cut inside your body, man. And then when you go into the etymology of the word karagwa, the word is karax, all right, which means a pale or a stake or a palisade, which represents the instrument, all right, that's going to impel you to put the mark of the beast in you, which is that syringe, man. All right, and then when you go to the etymology of the word karax, all right, the word is grapho, which means writing or information, to record, because that's what's going to be on that chip, man. All right, a lot of information, all right, everything about you, your ID, your medical records, all right, your you know, everything about you, man. All right, your money, your bank account, all of that, man. All right. But anyway, let's go back to Revelation 2. All right, Revelation 2. All right, because what did I tell you? That when Yahweh Shai comes, all right, there's only going to be one nation that's going to rule. That's what the kingdom of heaven is. The kingdom of heaven is rulership. The kingdom of heaven is only for one nation, one people, which is the nation of Israel. That's the only nation that's going to rule when Yahweh Shai comes back, man. All right, no other nation is going to be set on high. All right, the kingdom of Israel, all right, which is Yahushai's kingdom, all right. First and foremost is Yahushai's kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, which is the kingdom of heaven, Yahushai's kingdom. He's going to share his throne with the elect. All right, that's the nation that's going to rule over all the other nations when Yahushai comes. All right, the kingdom of heaven is for no other nation, man. They're going to be subjects, all the other nations, to the kingdom of Israel, man, to the nation of Israel, man. All right, so let's prove that. That's proven all throughout the scriptures, man. All right, and we're going to read that actually in Isaiah 14, which is what I'm going to get into, man. All right, so I want to read Revelation 2 and 25 first. It says, "But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations." All right. So the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, all right, those that keep the works and do this work unto the end. The Lord said, "Occupy until I come," right? Those that overcome until the end, all right, the Lord said, "Him will I give power over the nations." Because starting with the elect of the nation of Israel, the 1/3, the tabernacle of David, that's who's going to rule in the kingdom of heaven, right? So the Lord said, those who overcome, all right, to him will I give power over the nations, because we're going to rule over the nations in the kingdom of heaven. All right, and we're going to read. All right, it's going to get juicier. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's right, we're going to rule these other nations with a rod of iron. We're going to rule them with very great rigor, man, with very great power. All right, because they ruled over us with very great rigor. They ruled over us with very great power. All right, so in the kingdom of heaven is going to be a complete role reversal. That's what Luke the 16th chapter is about. All right, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Who is last right now? The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man. And Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's above everybody else. All right, he's the one that's first right now. But like the scriptures say, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Esau Edom is going to go from riches to rags, man. And we're going to go from rags to riches. All right, and our kingdom is going to be beautiful. Our roads are going to be paved with gold. All of that, man. All right, we're going to receive precious stones. All right, stones that you never seen or heard of before, man. Elements that you never seen or heard of. All right. You know, the kingdom of heaven is going to be beautiful beyond belief. It's going to be something that you never, your mind has never even thought of before, man. All right. So it says, verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. Yeah, that's how we're going to rule over these other nations, with a rod of iron, meaning with great power and great rigor. And the Lord said, we're going to break them into shivers, man. All right, because they broke us into shivers, so we're gonna break them into shivers, man. All right, we're gonna rule over them with 100-fold more power than how they ruled over us, man. All right, the Lord said, give unto them double what they have given you. All right, come on, man. And the Lord said, it is a righteous thing to recompense unto them that caused you tribulation, man. All right, roughly paraphrasing that verse. All right. But anyway, it says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, you see? All right? Even as I received of my Father, all right? So now let's go to Isaiah, man. Let's get into Isaiah, man, like how I wanted to from the get, man. All right? Isaiah 14, all right? This is Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. That's who he chose, Israel, to be his chosen people. That's who he chose to save and give the kingdom of heaven to. That's what that means, man. All right, let's keep reading. All right, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. This is a future prophecy. All right, the Israelites are not set in their own land right now. The Israelites are not in the Holy Land right now, because the people in the land of Israel, they're not the real ones, bro. They're not the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. All right, what the Lord is getting ready to do to those people in the land of Israel today, he's getting ready to wipe them off the face of this earth, man. All right, he's getting ready to wipe them out of that land, man. All right, by thermonuclear destruction. All right, because the land of Israel, when you read Ezekiel the 38th chapter, all right, the land of Israel is going to be obliterated, all right, and be swept by nuclear fire, all right, because that land is greatly defiled, and it has to be cleansed, all right, with the nuclear fire before the true Israelites return back into the Holy Land, all right, because when the true Israelites return back into the Holy Land, they're going to be pure, they're going to be immortal in their new bodies. So they're not going to be in their immortal state in their new bodies, all right, stepping into a land that's defiled. No, that land has to be swept clean with thermonuclear destruction, all right. When you read Ezekiel 38, it talks about how Russia is going to sweep that place with nuclear fire, man, all right, with all of Russia's allies, man. Iran, Libya, all right, which is North Africa, all right, the Persians, which is Iran, all right, the Ethiopians are going to be with them too, all right. That's all prophecy, all right. So it says, and set them in their own land. Again, the Israelites are not set in their own land. What we're reading right here is a future prophecy. This hasn't happened yet, man. Okay, all right. For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. Now, the strangers in this verse is not talking about heathen nations, all right? The strangers in this verse is talking about Israelite foreigners, all right? The Israelites that are scattered amongst the other nations in the Gentile lands, all right? They're going to hear this word and cleave unto this word. All right, you understand? They're going to cleave unto the rest of the elect, man. Okay, because when you go into the Hebrew, the word there for strangers in this verse is God. All right, which means an Israelite foreigner, an Israelite sojourning in another land. All right, because you got two types of strangers, man. You got the heathen nations that are strangers. All right, and you got the Israelite foreigners that are also known as strangers, Israelites that are dwelling in Gentile lands. All right, but if it was talking about the heathen nations, the word there in the Hebrew would have been Nakar. All right, but since it's not Nakar, it's God. All right, which represents an Israelite in a foreign land. That's where you get the name Gershom from. All right, is that not what Moses called his son? All right, because he was born in a strange land. All right, he was born in a strange land, so he called him Gershom. All right, Gershom. All right, God. All right, the Israelite in a foreign land. All right. So it says, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them. What people? The Israelites. All right. Who we're going to take? We're going to take the other nations. All right. Let's keep reading. All right. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. So we're going to take the other nations and we're going to bring them into the Holy Land. All right. So they could be our slaves, our captives. All right. The other nations, the Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. The Chinese man, the Japanese man. All right. The Canaanite man, the Ethiopian man. All right. The Egyptian man. They're all going to be our slaves in the kingdom of heaven. They're all going to be our captives in the kingdom of heaven, as we're going to read. All right. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. All right, so we're going to possess them, all right, for servants and handmaids. When you possess something, that means you own it. All right, so we're going to own the other nations. It says we're going to own them for servants and for handmaids. Their men are going to be our servants, and their women are going to be our handmaids. You understand? All right. So it says, and the people, which are the Israelites, shall take them, take the other nations, the heathen nations, the people who are not Israelites, all right? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, which is the Holy Land. And the house of Israel, you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh, all right? For servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. All right, so we're going to take the other nations captives whose captives we were. All right, we were captives unto them, but now they have to be our captives. All right, the Lord said, those that lead into captivity shall go into captivity, and those who kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. So those that had us that's in Revelation 13. All right, so whoever had us in captivity, all right, the apple of the Lord's eye, which is the nation of Israel, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, the Lord said whoever had us in captivity, they got to go into captivity. Whoever had us in slavery, they got to go into slavery. Whoever killed us with the sword, they got to be killed with the sword. All right, and whose blessing is the sword? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. His blessing was the sword. That's why he rules this planet Earth in destruction. All right, that's what the sword represents. It represents destruction. That's why he created all these world wars. He poisons the water supply, the food supply. All right, dumps waste into the ocean, and then take out of the ocean what's supposed to clean the ocean. All right, how you going destroy the ocean and then take out of the ocean what's supposed to clean the ocean, like the shrimp, the crab, the lobsters? All right, you know. But anyway, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them it says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh, which is the land of Israel, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Yeah, we're going to rule over our oppressors. First and foremost, the nation of Edom, all right? The nation of Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man, all right? That's our number one oppressor. They have oppressed us all throughout the course of history, man. All right, going all the way back to the Greeks, because the Greeks were Edomites. Then after the Greeks, it was the Romans, all right? Then after the Romans, we came into power, the Byzantine Empire, then we fell, all right? And then starting with the Renaissance era, we fell, they came back into power, man. Ever since the Renaissance era, Esau, Edom been in power, man. All right, so that's roughly around 600 years Esau, Edom has been in power, man. You know? It says, let's read verse 2 again. It says, and the people shall take them. The people's talking about the Israelites. We're going to take them, to take the other nations, all right? It says, and bring them to their place, which is the land of Israel, and the house of Israel, the Israelites, shall possess them in the land of Yahweh, for servants and handmaids, all right? And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressor. Yeah, all right? So now let's get Jeremiah 30 and 16. Let's get that, all right? Let's get Jeremiah 30 and 16, all right? Jeremiah 30 and 16, it says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, all right? All these other nations devoured the Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all throughout the course of history. They have done nothing but oppress and destroy us all throughout the course of history. So the Lord said, all they that devoured thee, all right, those that devour the Israelites shall be devoured. Let's read that again. All right. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. Yeah, that's right. So all of our adversaries, all of our enemies, every one of them, the scripture says, all right, shall go into captivity. So when Yahushua returns, all right, he's going to set up the nation of Israel to be kings and gods and rulers. The nation of Israel being you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. all right? And all these other nations are going to be our captives, our slaves, man, all right? So it says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. Yeah, every one of them, every single last one of our enemies and our oppressors shall go into captivity. All right? It says, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Yeah, so all these other nations are going to get preyed upon. All right, they're going to be our slaves, our subjects. All right. Matter of fact, let's read verse 20. All right. It says, verse 20. It says, the children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all that oppress them. All right, so all the nations that are oppressed, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, man, all right, they're all going to be punished, the Lord said, man. You have touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man. All right, you have touched the apple of the Lord's eye, which is the nation of Israel. Matter of fact, let me get Zephaniah. All right, Zephaniah, I think it's 1 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. All right, because you dealt with Israel, all right, very harshly, all these other nations, especially Esau, Edom. All right, so let me get is it Zechariah or Zephaniah? All right, I think it's Zephaniah. Let's get it. Or is it Zechariah? Let me hold on a second. It might be Isaiah, where it says, for I was a little displeased, all right, but they helped forward the affliction, man. Yeah, the Lord was a little displeased with us. That's why he led us into the hands of the enemies, all right? But they overdid it, man. All right, they overdid it, all right? So, you know, let me see. I think that might be Isaiah. I know it might be the 5th verse. Oh man, I forgot where it's at. I swore it was Zephaniah. Oh yes, Zechariah 1 and 15. All right, Zechariah 1 and 15. Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right, it says Zechariah 1 and 15. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. Here, the Lord is very displeased. He is sore displeased with the heathen nations. All right, why? Let's keep reading. It says, for I am very displeased. For I am very sore displeased. All right, with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Yeah, the Lord was a little displeased with us, man. That's why he led us into captivity, slavery, all right? But Esau, Edom, the Edomites, they went overboard with slavery, all right? The atrocities they had did to the nation of Israel, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all throughout the course of history, all right? Ever since they set sail to come over here to the New World, all right? When you read a book called Devastation of the Indies, all right, written by Bartolome de las Casas, all right, it gives an eyewitness account of all Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the Spaniards, all right, what they did to the Indians, man, which that were in the Indies, which were all Israelites, man, the ones that dwelt in Haiti, all right, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, all right, Mexico, those are all Israelites. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. All right, it gives an eyewitness account, man, of the great slaughter and massacre, the great cruelty, all right, that Esau, Edom has laid upon the nation of Israel, the Israelites, when Esau, Edom came and met them over here in the Indies, man, all right, which they called New Spain, all right, which was part of, you know, South America, parts of Mexico, all right, Central America, all right, you know, the Caribbean islands, okay. Let's go back into Isaiah, all right, Isaiah 14. All right. So I left off at I ended verse 2. So now this is verse 3. All right. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord Yahweh. All right. That day is when the Lord returns and sets us up to be kings and gods and rulers of this planet Earth once again, the nation of Israel. This is talking about the kingdom of heaven. That day is talking about the kingdom of heaven. All right. It says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Yeah, we served very hard bondage here in America, man. All right. All right. Our people don't know rest. We never knew rest. All right. Ever since Esau, Edom came over here, the so-called white man came over here to the Americas, man, to this side of the world. Our people never knew rest. All right. Our people, you people don't know. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans don't know rest. We're in complete captivity right now. We're complete slaves right now. All right. We go to sleep tired. We wake up tired. We got to work all the way until we die, man. All right. We got to work until we die, man. Our people don't know rest. Our body aches, you know. Our body aches, you know, starting, you know, in our mid-20s, man. 25, 30s. All right. Our bodies be aching. All right. We're in these chains of darkness, in captivity. All right. Our people are not at rest in many ways. The food is garbage here. All right. The water supply, the food supply is poison. All right. The air is being poisoned by the chemtrails. All right. We're being fed false education. Our people are not at rest here, man. Our people don't know rest, not one bit, not even an inkling. All right. Our people don't know rest at all, man. But when Yahweh returns, starting with the elect, all right, when he gives them the kingdom of heaven, all right, when he gives them his kingdom, all right, when he shares his throne with us, all right, that's when we're going to know rest, because we're going to be immortal, all right, in our perfect bodies. We're never going to ache again. We're never going to cry again. We're never going to die again. We're not going to know what emotional pain is anymore. We're not going to know what physical pain is anymore. We're not going to know what spiritual pain is anymore, man. You know? We're going to be perfect. We're going to be at complete rest. Nothing is going to make us afraid ever again. We're never going to fear ever again. All right? Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get that. Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Kritash. All right, let's get that, man. All right. All right, I'll start at verse 3. I'll just get to the point, all right? This is Revelation 21 and 3. It says, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High Yahweh is with men, all right? And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High Yahweh himself shall be with them and be their power. All right, and the Most High Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, talking about the kingdom of heaven. All right, it says, and the Most High Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. Woo! All right, for the former things are passed away. Woo! All right, there's not going to be any more pain. And right now, all our people know is pain, man. All right, all our people know is pain, man. All right, none of our people are happy, man. All right, none of you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you Israelites, man, are happy, man. You think you might be happy, but all you're eating is you know, sloppy ass food. All right, defiled water. All right. All right, you're drinking diabetes and chlorine, all right, and bleach. You're eating bleach and chlorine in your food, man. All right? You got to work until you die. Some of our people got to work 2-3 jobs just to get by. All right? Our people are homeless. They're starving. All right? Our people don't know rest, especially our people, man, the Israelite man. All right? The Negro, Latino, Native American man. But starting with the elect, all right, of the nation of Israel, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, the Lord is getting ready to give us rest, man. All right, this is what gives us hope, man, because we know that there's another world that's coming for us, man. All right, a world free of pain. A world free of distress. You know? All right, because the world is going to be under righteous rulership, man. Not this hell that we're living in underneath the hand of Esau, Edom, man, the wicked. All right? You know, we're never going to know pain, yeah? Man, when, you know, this should give you hope, man, when you read things like this, man. All right? All right? We're never going to know pain again. We're never going to know sorrow ever again. We're going to be at complete rest, man. All right? We're not going to cry at all. All right? We're going to live forever, man. Forever. 1 billion years from now, we're going to be living and ruling. 1 trillion years from now, we're going to be living and ruling. 100 trillion, gazillion, dillion years, we're going to be ruling from now, man. All right? And we're never going to get tired of it. There's always going to be something new to do, man. All right? Because this earth is going to forever flourish, man. Right now, the earth is dying under Esau, Edom's rulership. The Lord said, destroy those that destroyed the earth. And that's exactly what we're going to do, man. We're going to destroy those that destroyed the earth, man. You understand? All right? Because there's going to be a time when there's never going to be an Edomite on this earth ever again. They're going to vanish. All right? They're going to wither away. All right? When you read Job, the 20th chapter, it says they shall vanish like a smoke in the night, roughly paraphrasing. Or like they're gonna wither away like a dream. All right? All right? So let's read that again. Revelation 21 and 4, it says, and the Most High Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death. All right? Yeah, because you got these bugged out Israelites, man. All right, Genesis Israelites, man, which is Deacon Hakar and that other dude. I forgot his name, but they both came out of Sakari, man. They call themselves Genesis Israelites, talking about we're not going to live forever in the kingdom of heaven. What the hell are you talking about, man? We're going to be immortal, all right? Apostle Paul said that the mortal shall put on immortality and the corruption shall put on incorruption. And while I'm reading right now in Revelation 21 that there's going to be no more death. Apostle Paul said the last thing to be destroyed is death. All right, we're going to get victory over death, man. You got bugged out Israelites, man. All right. It says, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. Woo! And that's something that we got to look for. You got to have faith that these words are true and faithful, man. The Lord said that he's not a man that shall lie, and that his word shall not return unto me void, man. All right, so when we read things like this, man, we know that Yahweh's promise is true, man. All right, you know? This is something to look for. This is it's supposed to give you hope, man, knowing that there's a world for us, a better world for us to come, man. That we ain't got to live in this hellhole, you know, forever, man. You know, this hellhole under Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. So let's go back into Isaiah 14. It says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest, and shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage, all right, wherein thou was made to serve. Yeah, here in America, all right, the Israelites were made to serve a hard bondage, man. The Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, we served a hard bondage here, man. Till this day, our people don't know what rest is, man. All right? But we're going to receive that rest. All right? Matter of fact, Jeremiah, all right? And that's how we know, all right, the people in Israel today, they're not the real Jews that the Bible speaks of, man. All right? Because the scriptures say when the Israelites return back to the Holy Land, all right, that they're going to be at rest. All right, there's not going to be any more wars on earth. But the land of Israel literally at war right now with Iran and Gaza, man. All right, matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 30 and 10. Let's get that real quick. All right, Jeremiah 30 and 10. It says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob. Yeah, Jacob represents the nation of Israel. All right, the nation of Israel comes out of the loins of Jacob, man. All right, so it says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. Yeah, because the Lord is getting ready to gather us throughout the four corners, from the four corners of the earth. We have been scattered afar, but the Lord said he's going to save us from afar, man. He's going to gather us from the four corners of the earth. All right. It says, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. So the Lord is getting ready to save us from the land of our captivity. The main land is here in America. We're in captivity all over this earth. All right, because Esau, Edom, all right, being in his power seat, ruling this planet Earth. All right, starting with the elite banking families, they have complete control over this whole world, man. They control the water supply, the food supply. They make all the rules and regulations. They control all these giant corporations. All right, so we're in captivity all over this world, man. The Lord is getting ready to take us up out of this captivity, this hell that we're living in, man, and give us the kingdom of heaven, this rest. All right, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return to what? The Holy Land. All right, and Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Yeah, so when we return back to the Holy Land, which hasn't happened yet, all right, the Israelites are going to be at rest and they're going to be quiet. All right, it says, and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Yeah, because we're going to be gods, man. We're going to be kings and rulers of this planet Earth. None shall make him afraid, because we're going to be immortal. We're going to have complete power over this planet Earth. All right, ain't nobody going to be able to step to us. They're not even going to it's not even going to come into their thought about stepping. All right, big dog, I appreciate it. All right. So it says, and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Yeah. So that's how we know the people in the land of Israel, all right, are not the real Jews, man. All right, because they're not at rest. We're reading when the Lord brings us back, when Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai brings us back into the Holy Land, we're going to be at rest, we're going to be at quiet. But the people in the land of Israel, they're at war right now. When you read Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, it tells you that when the Israelites return back into the Holy Land, there's not going to be no more wars on earth. It says that they shall learn war no more. You know? Let's go back, man. Isaiah 14. All right, Isaiah 14, and when you read Hebrews, let's get Hebrews 4 and 9 real quick. This is Hebrews 4 and 9. It says, there remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High, which are the Israelites, starting with the elect, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right? Therefore remaineth a rest for us. We have rest coming, brothers. We got very great rest and a pain-free age coming to us, man. This shall bring hope to you, man. It should give you hope knowing this, man. You understand? All right? So let's go back to Isaiah 14 and 4. It says, Starting with this verse is going to starting from verse 4 all the way to the last verse is talking about the destruction of America and Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's downfall. All right, his rulership being taken and everything he has being taken from him, man. All right. So it says, verse 4, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor seized, the golden city seized. Yeah, Babylon in this verse is talking about America. All right, Babylon, America is known as Babylon in the Bible, or Babylon the great daughter of Babylon. All right, mystery Babylon. All right, that's talking about America. All right. So it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, which is Esau, man. All right, the king of Babylon is Esau. All right, the proverb that we're taking up against is this place being destroyed. We're prophesying against this place, letting you know this place is going to be destroyed. All right, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor seized? The oppressor is talking about Esau, Edom. All right, he's going to seize Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He's going to come to an end. His rulership and his oppression is going to come to an end. He's getting ready to be brought low. All right, and be made a slave, a captive. All right, it says, and the golden city seized, which is America, man. All right, it's known as the golden city because right now America is known as the top nation, the most powerful nation. All right, this golden city is getting ready to seize, man. It's getting ready to be destroyed. All right, let's get Isaiah 24 and 21. All right, Isaiah 24 and 21. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So the Lord is getting ready to punish the high ones that are on high. All right, which is Esau, Edom, starting with the elite banking families. All right, they're the ones that are on top right now. That's Esau, man. All right, so the Lord is getting ready to punish the host of the high ones, starting with the elite banking families, Esau, Edom. He's getting ready to bring Esau, Edom down from the rulership, all right, of this planet Earth. His rulership is coming to an end, and there's going to be a new rulership, all right, which is the rulership of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai's kingdom, man, which is the kingdom of Israel. All right. All right, let's get verse 5. It says, the Lord Yahweh has broken the staff of the wicked being Esau, Edom, all right? The Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, they're known as the wicked race. That's the wicked race that the Lord has created. They're known as the wicked in the Bible, all right? The Edomites are also known as that wicked race. When you read Malachi, the first chapter, the Edomites, the so-called white race, all right, today, all right? They're known as the border of wickedness in Malachi, the first chapter, all right? It says, the Lord Yahweh, all right, has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Yeah, so the Lord is letting you know that the wicked, all right, the Lord has broken their staff and the scepter of the rulers. The Lord is bringing this man down. All right, the Lord is getting ready to bring this man down. All right, and when you read 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, let's grab that. All right. All right. 1 Corinthians 15, let's read this one more time though, all right? Isaiah 14 and 5, it says, the Lord Yahweh has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, showing you that the wicked, all right, is going to be brought down. Esau, Edom, that represents, a staff represents rulership. He's broken the scepter of the rulers, man. All right? The Lord is getting ready to bring this man down, all right? All right, let's read that. Let's also read that in 1 Corinthians 15 and 24. All right, it says, then cometh the end. This is the Apostle Paul speaking. All right, it says, then cometh the end when he shall have delivered up the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh, even the Father Yahweh, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. So that's what the Lord is coming to do. All right, when Yahweh Shai comes back and cracks that sky, he's coming to put down all rule, all authority, and all power. Because now it's his time to rule on this planet Earth. But his rulership is going to be forever and ever. And you think you're going to take the Lord down himself, the Lord himself, his kingdom, his rulership? You think you're going to be able to take the Lord down? Come on, man. It says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High Yahweh. All right, even the Father Yahweh, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power, for he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. And that's what the Lord is coming back to do. It says, for he must reign. Yeah, Yahweh Shai must reign on this earth, man, until he has put all enemies underneath his feet, man. All right, all enemies being these heathen nations. They're all our enemies, man, because they all had their hand in the cookie jar when it comes to our oppression and slavery all throughout the course of history. When you read Amos, the first chapter, it goes into the judgment of the nations, man. All right, the judgment of all the nations, man. All right, the Moabites, the Edomites, all right, the Syrians, all right, all the nations, man. All right, let's finish this off, man. All right, we'll see. I said I was going to go through this whole chapter, but we'll see, man. I'll try to get through most of it, man. All right, it says, verse 6, it says, he who smote the people in wrath with continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. Yeah, that's talking about Esau, Edom. He's the one that ruled the nations with a continual stroke, man. All right, he's the one that caused all these world wars. All right, the elite bankers, man. All wars are bankers' wars, man. All right, they're all created by the elite banking families, man. The Rothschilds created all wars. All right, all world wars. All right, the smaller wars throughout history, they were all created by the bankers, man. All right, when you read The World Order, a book called The World Order by Eustace Mullins, it goes into that, man. All right, and Eustace Mullins was educated, man. All right, he did all his research at the Library of Congress, man. All right, it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, which is Esau, Edom. All right, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hinder it. Yeah, the Lord is getting ready to persecute this man and none hinder it. You can't stop Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for doing what he's getting ready to do to Esau, which is bring this man down, man. All right, this man is about to be persecuted, man. All right, verse 7, it says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, because when Esau, Edom is brought down from the rulership of this planet Earth, the whole earth is going to rejoice, man. All right, because all these other nations, all right, not only us, the true Israelites, all right, Esau, Edom being our number one enemy, we hate this man to death, but so do the other nations. And when this man is brought down, the whole earth is going to be the whole earth is going to rejoice, man. The whole earth is going to rejoice that this man is taken down. All right, that the earth is not underneath his rulership anymore, because they all hate this man. Everybody hates Esau, Edom, man. All right, they all hate Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, why? Because underneath his rulership, the whole earth is mourning, man. Matter of fact, let's get that. Proverbs 29. All right, Proverbs. All right, 29 and 2. But let me read this. All right, one more time. It says, verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, because when this man is brought down, when Esau, the so-called white man, is down, the whole earth is going to be at rest. This earth is going to be happy, man. All right. So let's read Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And right now, the righteous are not in authority. The righteous being the Israelite man, all right? The Negro, Latino, Native American man, all right? When we come into power, this whole earth is going to be ruled in righteousness, all right? And the people are going to rejoice, all right? Because the true Israelites are now ruling this planet earth again, man. Because we're going to rule this earth in righteousness, man. We're not going to rule this earth how Esau, Edom ruled this earth, in wickedness. He is the wicked. So therefore, he's going to rule this earth in wickedness. That's why underneath his rulership, his current rulership, this whole earth is mourning, man. This earth ain't rejoicing right now. Everyone on this earth is mourning, man, living in hell. All right? It says, Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, which are the Israelites, the people rejoice. And that's going to happen when we come into power, when Yahweh Shai returns. All right? It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And right now, the wicked beareth rule. So that's why the people of this earth are mourning. And that's why when this man is brought down, like it says, like you just read in Isaiah the 14th chapter, all right, it says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. So when this man is brought down, when the wicked is brought down, this whole earth is going to break forth into singing, man. All right. Verse 8, it says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Yeah, and these fir trees, all right, is a dark saying, man. All right, the trees represents the people, the nations of this earth, man. All right, it says the fir trees rejoice. All right, and no feller has come up against us, man. Right, because the feller is someone that chops down trees, which represents Esau, Edom. All right, and if you want to go into that, Esau, Edom does. It's called deforestation, man. He chops down all the forest, man. All right, which you know that these trees and these forests gives us oxygen, man. He cuts off oxygen from the earth. All right, he poisons the ocean. All right, which most of the oxygen of the earth comes from the oceans, man. You know. It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Verse 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And if you have understanding, this is a reincarnation scripture. Okay, this is talking about all the kings of old in the ancient world coming back to see Esau, Edom's fall. All right, the Lord is allowing all these kingdoms of old, all right, to come back to see Esau, Edom's fall, man. Because all these other nations, they hate Esau, Edom too. They want Esau, Edom to go down. All right, in the verse above, we just read that all the nations, all right, the fir trees, the people are going to rejoice, man. All right. So these nations want to see Esau, Edom fall too, and the Lord's going to allow them to see Esau, Edom's fall, man. You know. So verse 10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Yeah, because America's not that top powerful nation as it once was. All right, back when back when America was that feared country. All right, why was America feared? Because they dropped those bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That was the beginning of the nuclear age. All right, let me let this pass real quick. All right, that was the beginning of the nuclear age. And that's what made all the earth and all these nations afraid of America, because they seen that America had that power. All right, but now all these nations, all right, have that same nuclear power, especially Russia. All right, Russia has the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. And not only do they have the largest nuclear arsenal, they have the most powerful nuclear weapons on earth. And that's the spirit of the Lord that has it like that, because it's prophecy that Russia is going to be the main ones to destroy America, man. Okay? All right? So it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become as weak as we? Yeah, because they're going to make America's going now that weak nation, because they had that same power. So now they're on the same level. They have become as weak as all these other nations before they had that great nuclear power, man. Matter of fact, let's get that in Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 10th verse. All right, let's grab that. That's also in Joel. What's up, Lou? How you doing? Shalom, shalom.
How you doing, sir?
I'm all right.
See you spread the word.
All right, so this is Joel 3 and 10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, that's talking about all these nations that were once weak, that didn't have that nuclear power that America has, but now has that nuclear power that America has. Let the weak say, I am strong. All these weak nations that didn't have that might before are now strong. They all have that nuclear power. That's why none of these nations are scared of America no more, because they had that same nuclear power, especially Russia, man. Russia has the most powerful nuclear weapons on earth. You know what they're called? All right, they're called Satan. They got a nuclear bomb called Satan. They have Satan 1 and they got Satan 2. All right? And they're the most powerful nuclear weapons on this earth. All right? And their nuclear arsenal is so large, they could just hand them out to the other nations. That's why it tells you in Ezekiel the 38th chapter that Russia is going to be a guard unto all these nations. All right? They're going to protect all these other nations. They're going to hand them nuclear weapons and all that, man. Why do you think their ties, all these nations' ties with Russia are becoming stronger? China's ties with Russia are becoming stronger. All right. Iran's ties are with Russia becoming stronger. North Korea's ties with Russia becoming stronger, because it's prophecy. Russia is going to be a protector unto all these nations. Right? Be thou a guard unto them. That's Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right. So again, Joel 3 and 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Now, a plowshare and a pruning hook is a farming tool. The Lord's saying beat them into swords and beat them into spears, which are weapons of war. So the Lord is saying, prepare for war, man. Prepare for war. Get ready for war. All right? That's why in the next verse, that's why in the first verse above it, verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. All right? So the Lord said, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, man. Woo! All right, the Lord is a man of war, and that's what the Lord is getting ready to bring, war. All right, World War III is the doing of the Lord. The Lord is the one that's gathering all these nations for nuclear destruction. Okay, true. All right, because the Lord's word he has to be fulfilled. The Lord said in Isaiah 55 and 11, all right, that my word shall not return unto me void, and it shall accomplish whatever I please. All right, when the Lord says something, it's going to happen. The Lord not going to say something and it doesn't happen. All right, the scriptures say that the Lord is not a man that he shall lie. All right, so when we read about nuclear destruction in the scriptures, you better know what's going to happen. It's inevitable. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It's going to happen. All right, Paul said in Romans the 3rd chapter, what if some did not believe? Would that make the faith of the Most High without none effect? Just because you don't believe that don't mean it ain't going to come to pass. We the ones that believe it. And because we prophesying, it's going to come to pass, all right? Because prophecies can't come to pass unless they're being prophesied, duh. That's why when the prophets of the Lord, when the Lord set up the men on earth, all right, the Israelite man, starting with Abba Bivens in the 60s, all right, that's when things started to move. All right, that was the very beginning of Esau, Edom's fall. All right, starting with Abba Bivens.
all right, in the early 60s, man, all right, which is, if you could receive it, that's John the Baptist, man, all right, who's going to return the Israelites back to the Heavenly Father, all right. But anyway, let's go back into Isaiah 14. It says, Isaiah 14:10, it says, and they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? And art thou become like us? Yeah, because again, all right, America, these nations were once weak, but now they have that same power, all right. It's going to be like America is as weak as them now, because America is going to be destroyed, all right. Verse 11, it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave. Yeah, Esau, Edom's pride is going to be brought down to the grave, man, because he rules this planet Earth. He has that pride. He's been ruling this earth for so long, he thinks he's never going to come down, man. Esau, Edom, so he thinks he's just going to rule this planet Earth forever. All right? The Lord said, thy pomp, meaning your pride, is going to be brought down to the grave. All right? It says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy valleys, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Yeah. So that shows you, you know, Esau, Edom, his rulership in Babylon is just going to wither away. It's just going to wither away, man. All right, that goes into that decomposing, that the worms crawl over you, man. All right, that's how America's going to be. That's how Esau, Edom is going to be. Okay. All right, it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vowels, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. All right, it's verse 12, it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Yeah, Lucifer just means light bearer. All right, the Lucifer in this verse is talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, why is he known as Lucifer in this verse? All right, the word Lucifer, all right, means light bearer. All right, right now Esau, Edom is in his power seat. He's ruling this planet Earth. That's why he's known as Lucifer. That's the light that he's bearing, which is rulership. But it says, Lucifer, how art thou brought down? All right, because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's going to be brought down. All right. All right, Lucifer is not a nefarious name or a nefarious title. All right, because the true Lucifers are the Israelites. All right, starting with the elect. All right, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, we're the real light bearers. We have the true light. All right, but the light that Esau, Edom it has right now is rulership and power of this earth. That's why he's known as Lucifer in this verse. That's why it says this. All right, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Heaven meaning rulership. Lucifer, Esau, Edom, all right, he's going to fall from his heaven, his rulership. All right, it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Yeah, and that's what Esau, Edom has done. He has weakened the nations, man. All right, it's not talking about, you know, a lot of people like to think, you know, Lucifer is talking about Satan. Nah, this is talking about Esau, Edom. All right. So it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, meaning fallen from rulership, O Lucifer, which is Esau, Edom. All right. Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground? Yeah, because the Lord is getting ready to bring this man down, which didst weaken the nations. Yeah. All right. We read earlier that they had laid on a continual stroke. All right. Matter of fact, let's get Job. Right, to prove that even further. The book of Job, the 18th chapter. All right, let's grab that real quick. All right, Job 18:5. All right, it says, Job 18:5, it says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put. All right, big dog. It says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. The wicked being Esau, Edom. The Edomites are known as the border of wickedness. That wicked race that the Lord has created. All right, and their light is going to be put out, man. Everything that comes with Esau, Edom, everything that he has, everything that he controls and owns, his rulership, everything is coming down with him. His knowledge, all of that, bro. All of that. All right. So it says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. and the spark of his fire shall not shine. You see? All right, so Lucifer, all right, meaning a light bearer, which is Esau, Edom, the light that he's bearing is rulership power, all right, but that power is going to be put out. That light is going to be put out, all right, and there's going to be a new Lucifer in town, man, which is the nation of Israel, all right. They're going to be ruling, man, all right. Also, when you get Job 18 and 18, it says, he shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. Talking about Esau, man. Come on, man. All right. Verse 13, it says, for thou hast said in my heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High Yahweh. And that's Esau, Edom's pride and his God complex. Talking about he will be like the Most High. You bugging, bro. You know how wicked and vile, and you know how much lack of fear and wickedness. You really gotta be wicked and bugged out to think like that. And that's Esau, Edom, bro. That's Esau, Edom. All right. All right. Verse 13, verse 14, that's going into Esau, Edom's pride and his God complex. Talking about that he's going to ascend above the heights of the clouds and will be like the Most High. You bugged out, bro. You bugged out as all hell for saying something like that, bro. Ooh, I can't, because a lot of white Edomites, a lot of the Edomite men, they're proud like that, bro. They're proud like that. Esau, Edom is prideful like that. He does have pride like that. These white people that walk around in America, they're proud as hell, bro. And I can't wait to see their downfall, their destruction. I can't wait to see them in shackles and chains, man. All right. It says, verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly. Hold on, let me get something real quick. Let me get out some papers real quick. Please excuse me, I had to grab something real quick. Let's get back into this, man. All right, Isaiah 14. 15. All right. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Yeah, this man is talking about Esau, Edom, all right? Because when Esau, Edom is brought down, that's how the nations are going to look at him. Like, this man right here, this man, this scum right here, this scum of the earth right here, this is the man right here that made the earth to tremble, that shook the kingdoms, man. All right, the one that brought all these wars, you know, this scum right here, because they're gonna be looking at Esau, Edom in a very low state. They're gonna be like, this fucking scum right here, this damn devil right here, you know. So let's keep reading. All right. All right. It says, that did shake the kingdoms, and that made the world a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners. Yeah, because that's all Esau, Edom has done. He has done nothing but destroy this earth, man. All right, it says, that made the world a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof. He did that with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, destroyed cities, man. Destroyed the wildernesses, man. All right. It says, let's keep reading. It says that open not the house of the prisoners. It says, verse 18, and the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave. All right? But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. Woo. And as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden under feet. Yeah, that's how you're going to be like Esau. All right. It says, thou shalt not be joined with them, all right, in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Yeah, Esau, Edom, the seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Meaning he shall never be honored or respected, man, because he's the devil. That's how he's going to be looked at. You know? All right. Verse 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Yeah, so Esau, Edom's children, all right, we have to prepare slaughter for them, all right? Slaughter is going to be prepared for the Edomites, all right, for everything that their forefathers have done throughout the course of history, man. All right, why? Because there are their forefathers coming back, so they have to pay what they had did in their past lives. All right, so that's why you Edomites are getting ready to be slaughtered when Yahushua comes. That's why you're going to go into captivity, because everything you have did throughout the course of history, man. All right. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with cities. Yeah, because they're not going to rule anymore. All right, they're going into captivity. All right, they're not going to continue to rule and continue to grow, and you know. All right, it says, verse 22. It says, for I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and the son and the nephew. All right. Saith the Lord. All right, yeah, so all of Esau, Edom is going to be cut off, man. That represents all of Esau, Edom. All right, everything about Esau, Edom, he's all of them is going to be cut off, man. All right, so it says, I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, and son and nephew, save the Lord Yahweh. So yeah, it goes into all of Esau, Edom. Everything about Esau, Edom is going to be cut off, man. All right, verse 23. It says, I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Yeah, that's talking about the lake of fire. That's talking about America being destroyed by nuclear fire. The Lord said he's going to sweep it with the bosom of destruction. All right, and when you go into the Hebrew, the word there for bosom, I think it's matate or matete, which means a broom. So that fire, that nuclear destruction that's going to hit America in this third world war is going to sweep across the land. It's going to just, like a broom, man, it's going to sweep across this place and destroy America, make America a wasteland, all right, a desert, all right, a complete destruction, all right. It says, verse 23 again, it says, I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction. Yeah, the Lord is going to, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to sweep America with the bosom of destruction, which is the nuclear missiles, the thermonuclear fire. That's the lake of fire. All right. Saith Yahweh of hosts. All right. Verse 24. The Lord Yahweh of hosts has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Yeah, because the Lord's word shall not return unto him void, man. Whatever the Lord said, all right, the Lord said, it shall go whither to where I have accomplished it. Isaiah 55 and 11. All right, it says that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart off their shoulders. Yeah, the Assyrians in this verse is talking about Esau, Edom. He's the Assyrian in this verse. All right. All right. So it says, let's read that again. It says, verse 25, it says that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. Yeah, because we're not going to no longer be under Esau, Edom's rulership anymore. We're not going to be in captivity under Esau, Edom anymore. All right, the nation of Israel and these other nations, man. All right. So verse 26. All right, it says, this is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched, and this is, let me read that again, excuse me. It says, verse 26, this is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. Yeah, because this judgment is not just coming upon Esau, it's gonna come upon all nations, man. All right, all nations are going into captivity. All nations are going to fall from their rulership, whatever seat they're in. Okay, all right. When you read Amos, the first chapter is talking about the judgment of all the nations, man. All right. So, verse 27, it says, for Yahweh of hosts has purposed, and who shall disannul it? And it shall, and his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? Yeah, because this, everything that we're reading is the will of the Lord. Who shall disannul it? Who shall stop it? Who shall put it to the end? No one. No one, man. All right. Everyone is under the control of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So it says, verse 28, it says, in the year that King Ahaz died was this burden. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. Yeah, so the Lord's telling Palestine and people that dwell in Palestine, all right, the Arabs and all of them, all right, the Lord's letting them know, don't get excited, all right, because Esau, Edom is being brought down. Don't think that you're going to come into power or rulership now because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is brought down. The Lord is saying, don't get excited, all right, because you're not for rulership. The Israelites are coming, are going to rule, all right. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of him that followeth. When Esau, Edom comes down, when Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, comes down, all right, our world begins, all right? The Negro, Latino, Native American world begins, man, all right? The world of Israel, Yahweh Shai's world, his kingdom, all right? And then he's going to share it with the elect, all right? So the Lord's saying, don't rejoice, O Palestina, the people of Palestine, just because this white man is brought down. You're not what you're getting excited for. You're going into captivity and slavery too. All right? So it says, rejoice not thou, whole Palestina, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent, which is going into the missiles, the nuclear missiles, the ICBM missiles. All right? Let me grab something real quick. All right. Verse 30. All right. It says, and the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. And I will, let me read that again. It says, and the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. That's talking about the nation of Israel. The firstborn of the poor, all right, is talking about the nation of Israel. All right. It says, and I will kill thy root with famine, and he shall slay the remnant. Talking about the judgment. Loud as hell. All right, let me read that again. It says, and the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and they shall lie down in safety. Talking about Israel. All right, and I will kill thy root with famine, and he shall slay thy remnant. All right, and that's talking about Esau and the other nations receiving judgment, man. All right, they're going to be killed off, man. All right. It says, how, verse 31, how, O gate, cry, O city, thou, O Palestina, art dissolved. Woo! For there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in his appointed time. All right, this north, all right, the smoke coming out of the north is talking about Russia. All right, you know. All right, it says, how, O gate, cry, O city, thou, O Palestina, art dissolved. All right, yeah, that whole land, all right, the whole land of Palestine is going to be dissolved, man, by the nuclear fire. All right, coming from the land of the north, which is Russia. All right, so it says, verse 31 again. It says, how, O gate, cry, O city, thou, O Palestina, art dissolved. For there shall come from the north a smoke, which is talking about Russia. That's the north. All right, a smoke, which is the missiles. All right, and none shall be alone in his appointed times. All right, what shall one then answer? Excuse me, read that again. It says, and verse 32, what shall one then answer the messengers of the nations? That Yahweh has found Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it. All right, so there you go, man. There you have it. That's the breakdown of Isaiah. All right, that's the breakdown of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, man. All right, let me put this away real quick. All right, so, you know, Lord willing, you know, this lesson was edifying. All right, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah. This lesson was edifying, man. You know, that's it, man. That's Isaiah chapter 14. All right, and next time I come out here, I'm going into, if it be the Lord's will, I'll go into another chapter that's talking about America's destruction and Esau, Edom's downfall, man. All right, so with that being said, all right, Ko Holoyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Kwitash. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. Oh, spit it. All right. But until the next one, shalom, shalom.